How do you speed bridge in Minecraft Bedrock Edition? Now, I would say I'm pretty good at speed bridging. I know a lot of people who want to know how to do this, so I'm going to teach you all the different methods on how to do this and master it. But before I start, remember this is for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, not Java. The way you speed bridge on the two platforms are very different, and the methods I teach you will not work on Minecraft Java Edition. Method 1 is the type of bridging you see everyone do. They hold shift and they just bridge forwards or backwards, etc. It's very slow, very inconvenient, and the only reason people do it is because it's easy and almost impossible to fail. The next method is the traditional shift click. Now all you're doing in this method is basically shifting and unshifting at certain periods in time and timing your clicks. That way you go faster and faster and faster, just off of doing everything a tiny bit faster when you shift and unshift. You can do this two ways. Either you can do it facing backwards or you can do it facing forwards because of the block mechanics in Minecraft Bedrock. Now I'm going to teach you guys how to do this method in case you want to do it. Okay guys, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to shift click and bridge. So remember, there's two ways to do this. There's the way where you do it like this and where you do it backwards, and there's the way where you do it front like this. Now, I think you guys should do the front way like this for one of two reasons. Well, two reasons. First of all, it's easier in my opinion, and if there's an enemy in front of you, you can see them, and if you do this, you cannot. Now, when you're doing this, it's very simple. Now, in Minecraft Bedrock, see right here, I can place a block just by right-clicking, just like that. So I do this, I unshift, I go forward, I place one and shift, and it will look something like that. Now, if you want to play less cautious, you can just spam blocks just like that, because that's how you play this game. Now, is that the best way to do it? No. Is that faster? Yes, but you will die more of the time because there's a chance a block does not hit and you fall off. Now, if you have a high CPS, you can do that, but you don't have to. So remember, all I'm doing is placing one, shift. I'm unshifting, I'm going forward, I'm placing one, and right before I go off the block, I shift. So it's like that. Now I do a special way. You can do it like more like this if you want to go more forward a little bit each time, and you can go like that. Now, when we go to the backwards version, it's the exact same thing. You just do it, except it's a little bit harder and you cannot see behind you. But you're shifting right before you slide off that block, that way you stay on. Now we're going to cover the spam bridge. Now you saw a little bit of it in the tutorial right before this of how to do the shift click bridge, but this is a little bit different. And the spam bridge is just spamming blocks in front of you like this. This is all just about mostly CPS. You're just spamming blocks in front of you. Now right now I'm walking into it. Can you run into it? Yes. Is it harder? Yes. Now if you hit the correct timing, you can run into it. It is just a bit harder. Now, it's easier to walk and do it, and you can still go decently fast, but the safety goes down a little bit because there's a chance that block doesn't hit and it just kind of fails. Now, if you want to run and do it, you can like that, but it is a little bit harder and you're going to have to be a fast clicker. Now, if you average 6-7 CPS, it's going to be a bit harder for you, but if you're someone who can just crank out 10 or 14, then this should be pretty easy for you. Remember, all you have to do is go to a bridge, get ready, get in that angle, and just go. Just start spamming blocks. Now, can you do this forever? It's hard to, because eventually your hand's gonna get tired. Is this the best method to bridge? It's far from the best method. In fact, I know a lot better methods that are safer, faster, and easier to do, which I'm going to explain later in this video. But this is how you do the spam bridge method. If you want to do this method, remember all you have to do is just start spamming at this angle and walk or run depending on how quickly you want to do it. Next is the God Bridge. Now I find the God Bridge to be the most reliable and the fastest speed bridge method I have found. Now the problem with the God Bridge, it is 100% timing and muscle memory on how to do it. It's not just shifting and unclicking, it is the best method that I found of bridging, but it is also takes some time to get used to it. Now, this is basically the method. There's different ways to do it. The first way is you need 2 blocks of space in front of you, and you do that. Now right now, I'm not actually spamming my keyboard. All I'm doing is simply holding down my mouse button and I'm running. I'm actually sprinting right now. I'm sprint jumping, yet my bridge is staying with me. Now that takes some time to do. And if you want to be able to do it consistently and basically never fail, you just have to kind of practice it. Now there's that method, and there's also the running method. The running method is you run, you don't stop, and you do that. So it's the same thing, except you don't have a stop and you just do it while you're running. A little bit harder, but ultimately the same method. Now, teaching this is kind of hard because it's really all about trying different things until something works. Now, is this method hard? Yes, but eventually you will get it. So first, I found that the best thing to do is with 2 blocks. Now, if you're a beginner and have never done this before, give yourself more room. Practice when there's no place you can fall. If you're doing this, and it looks like this on the blocks, you're doing it correctly. So you want to practice on blocks so that when you fall, you don't have to reset your progress. So basically, I'm like this, I start sprinting, but when I start sprinting off this block, before I jump, I hold down right click on this block like this. And I'm not sprinting right now, but I jump and sprint at the same time doing that. Remember, I'm about to sprint, but before I put the jump button to start sprint jumping, I right down hold and I do that. Now this is hard, and the problem is when you're training this, the best way, honestly, advice to do it is just hop into a server and try it over and over and over again. The problem is you will fail a lot of times before you're able to do this every single match if you're just starting to do it. Now I've gotten to the point where I can do this pretty much 95% of the time. I can't actually remember the last time I failed this, but that all is practice. So remember what you do. Now, if you want to start out slowly, try this walking first. Walking is just you go forward, you hold down like this, and like that. So as you walk, you hold down your right mouse button on this block down here, and you go. Now, if you do sprinting, there's doing it running. Now I'm just going to do it running, not sprint jumping. That's just running. Same thing, but you do that. But when you want to do the jump, you want to make sure you have this holding down first and then start jumping. So you want to do it like that. And then if you really want to get really good at the running start one, all I recommend is what you do is you run and you place a block in front of you, you jump on that block and you do the same thing. Now, sometimes I do it where I jump and use a block in between, but you don't have to do that and you can just do it like that if you really want to do it like that. Those are, I think, all the methods I know of speed bridging. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments below. And I think this is the best method, personally, this God bridging method, because you can do it basically sprint jumping, and all you have to do is hold down your mouse button, so you can pretty much do it until you have run the blocks. So, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.